Hi, everybody. So I'm in a different environment tonight. This is I'm in Sigurd Hospital, believe it or not. So why am I here? I had a tough night last night, and it was related to something I ate. I think it's not a big deal. I expect to be back at full strength tomorrow, back at St. James. But I wanted to do the Wednesday chat anyway. Um, yeah, I wouldn't recommend eating like a big bag of cabbage in rapid succession with 2 bowls of frosted mini wheats. I think that did something that caused a lot of distress in my body last night. So I'm kind of recovering from that. Um, so anyway, that's why I'm here, and that's why just thought I mentioned that. It's killed me today because I looked out the window and I see the blue sky, and 70s would have been great to be walking through the neighborhood on the west side or taking my bicycle out. In the midst of everything else that's going on. Anyway, good evening. We're continuing our Easter season. And a few things. The big thing is about getting back to Mass, for public Mass. Talk about that a little bit. First thing I want to emphasize, though, is we're going to do a parish virtual retreat. And I hope we get strong interest in it. It's one of those things, I don't know, maybe 4 people will be interested, or maybe we could really get 40, 50 people interested in it. I don't know if you ever heard of the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius. He lived in the 1500s. He was the founder of what we now call the Jesuit order of priests. And he laid out this format for retreats that go over 4 weeks. And so it's kind of a famous thing among priests or other spiritually inclined people that seek out retreats and spiritual growth, a 30-day Ignatian retreat. So anyway, last week I was watching Father Lindner's quick things that he does for his parish in Wausau, and they're doing it. And I thought, well, I could say, boy, those lucky guys, or we could do it too. Imitation's the greatest form of flattery, right? So basically, there's this priest, this Jesuit priest in Louisiana. His name's Father, is it Mark? Thibodeau. I know it's Thibodeau. And he started this for his own parish, and the timing was better than when we're going to do it, I think. He started it on Easter Sunday and ended it on Ascension Thursday, which is actually tomorrow, but we'll observe it on Sunday. But so he calls it Ascending with Ignatius, because the whole thing is going from Easter to the Feast of the Ascension. And so in Wausau, they're going to start it on the Feast of the Ascension, or Sunday, and then go 30 days forward. I thought at St. James we would start on the Feast of Pentecost and go 30 days forward, with this year would end on the Feasts of Saints Peter and Paul on June 29th. Anyway, so I just think I'd love to have a good portion of St. James familiar with the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius. It's been so important to me, and I think it's great for the parish. We'd really, I think, take a nice step forward in our spiritual growth as a community. So I'm really hoping that attracts some folks. So here's what's involved. So there are these videos. Well, first of all, you have to sign up. So you have to email me. I think we sent out a newsletter. I was trying to get the emails to me. They might go to Christine, but anyway, we'll work it out. But if we know you're interested, then we'll get you on an email list. And then the only thing that really you're asked to do is to watch this video with Father Mark Thibodeau. I think his name is Mark. And we'll show you how to get there. It's in YouTube. And they're about 15 minutes to 20 minutes a day. And then after that, to reflect, pray for 15 more minutes. And you really get exposed to some great classic ideas about prayer, the spiritual life, and the whole thing of St. Ignatius. It follows the life of Jesus. So from his birth, his ministry, crucifixion, resurrection. So I hope you find that interesting, and you can just check it out if you don't like the guy's style. He's just a very down to earth, plain spoken man giving this retreat from his office on a series of videos. So Father Mark Thibodeau, Ascending with Ignatius, if you want to search it out just to get a taste. And then we'll have optional meetings where I will, like on Tuesday night and Friday night, we'll have a kind of a Zoom thing if people want to unpack their experience of prayer. And I think Christine is going to host 2 mornings during the week. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. And I hope we get some interest. I'm sorry if that was a little tedious for you. So getting back to Mass. So we had a big webinar with the leaders of our diocese in La Crosse presenting today. And I was able to participate in that, even from my hospital bed here. What to say about it? There's no obligation to go to Mass. It's available, but it won't be available for everybody because it needs to be limited because of safety concerns, that we don't want to be a breakout point for the virus, which some churches have been in our country. So the diocese is saying, if you meet all these requirements, these safety requirements, then you can start offering Mass on the weekend of Pentecost, May 30th, 31st. You don't have to. Our intention at St. James is to do that. Christine's trying to coordinate getting volunteers who can greet and find places for people to sit, and there's a lot of work going. Brian's outstanding custodian. He's has all the sources for sanitation supplies and all that, and Anne's everybody's working very hard on it. I don't mean to exclude anybody, but it's been the topic du jour, for us, right? So what can I say about it? On the one hand, I'm excited. On the other hand, I don't want to be too much of a cheerleader for it. I don't want anyone to feel like if they choose not to come, like they're letting anyone down. It's not a test of your faith. It's not like the strongest people of the strongest faith will come to Mass, and that's not it at all. I mean, there's lots of really good reasons for staying home, and because you risk catching the coronavirus. We try to minimize that risk with all the safety procedures, but the bishop is encouraging everyone over 65 not to come. It's not a rule, but he's encouraging. And of course, anyone with certain conditions that would make them prone to really, really have a problem if they caught this disease, stay away. It's okay. It's not a sign of weakness, probably a sign of wisdom, right? So we'll see. It's not this coming weekend, but it'll be a weekend after. I don't know what else I should say about that. Just a lot of work. When you come, if you come, it will be it'll look different. We're going to ask everybody to wear a mask, particularly if we want to sing at all. It's just essential that we have a mask. There's just a lot of research on how far the droplets go if you're singing, and so to have that covered would be very, very important. And so just a lot of restrictions. You may not sit where you like to sit typically, and so what we hope and what we expect is that the love of God will cover all those little frustrations and still make it a joyous event, even if some things make us uncomfortable. Okay. All right. Last, I just thought I'd share an idea. I'm not home, so I can't share an icon or sing a song. Ronald Rolheiser is a Canadian priest. He's written lots of books that have been meaningful to me about our spirituality, I guess, prayer, our life in the church together. And as we get to these days of Ascension and Pentecost, he wrote something that I just always remember because it made so much sense. I love it when just ordinary, everyday, the human stuff intersects and dovetails with the story of Jesus. And so he said this. He looked at five moments: Good Friday, Easter Sunday. Third one's not a moment, but the 40 days of Jesus walking on the earth still as the risen one. Then the Ascension is the fourth one, and then Pentecost is the fifth one. And he said that really models our life in moments of loss and recovery and moving on with our life and embracing life again. So he says, and I should have thought before, I'm not sure how this applies exactly, but I'm sure it does to the coronavirus pandemic. But let's just say the death of a loved one or the loss of a relationship. I talked last week on Sunday about getting, rejected by that gal in college and how hard that was for me. But so that's Good Friday, the loss, death, loss of relationship, something just really hard that happens in your life. So we're open to that. We experience that. We cry, we weep, we grieve. Easter Sunday is that wager that, if we stay open to the pain and we stay open to the God who loves us in the midst of our pain, that we'll get a glimmer of hope, that we're more than our pain. There's more to the story than our pain. There's Easter, there's resurrection. And we won't necessarily be dancing on the street and ready to just be super joyful, but there's that sense. There's more to who I am than the loss I just endured. There's more to life than this. That's the Easter moment. Third. Then the third period, like the 40 days between Easter and Ascension, is like the living with this new reality, kind of getting used to that something's changed. I don't have something that was very precious in my life, and I'm just getting used to it. I'm walking with that, and I'm grieving. I'm hopeful. All of the above, right? And then he said, Ascension. Feast of the Ascension, when Jesus goes up into the clouds and the apostles are just sitting there looking up. That's kind of like the letting go of the old reality. There was something that was precious to you that had been, that is no more. And it's been really hard letting go of that. And Ascension is that time when you can let go. And still, though, there's that key moment of Pentecost. So we've let go, or there's still kind of a, maybe there's a freedom in that, but there's an uncertainty. Well, what do we do? And the Pentecost is receiving that Spirit to live full-heartedly in a new reality that you're given in your life. So I really like that. I don't know how you experience that, but just it makes the gospel, makes the life of Jesus just come alive to me as far as our own experience, and that's what it's all about. So I was gonna chant the Taizé chant, and I forgot to write down which one. Oh yeah, I know it. Okay, should we do a little chant? I'll repeat it a few times. So God bless all of you, and I wish you peace. We sing to Jesus. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Alleluia.